signs you might be suffering from PTSD. Post-traumatic stress complaint, PTSD, is an internal health condition that is touched off by an intimidating event, either passing it or witnessing it. Symptoms may include flashbacks, agonies, and severe anxiety, as well as willful studies about the event. But most people who go through traumatic events may have temporary difficulty conforming and managing. But with time and good tone care, they generally get better. However, last for months or indeed times, and intrude with your day-to-day functioning. If the symptoms get worse, when you suppose about PTSD, post-traumatic stress complaint, what might come to mind are frontline combatants who have been exposed to shocking and harrowing warfare, or survivors of a life-hanging physical or sexual assault, auto accident, or terror attack. And you wouldn't be wrong. It's not abnormal to have a strong response to a disturbing situation that frequently triggers a fight or flight response, which produces changes in the body to help it defend against peril. And while most people will ultimately recover, others will suffer extreme stress and anxiety well after the peril is past. That is PTSD, which affects about 7 or 8 people out of every 100 at some point in their lives. It generally shells within 3 months of the event, yet can stay hidden until time subsequently. But there's so much further to PTSD. Not everyone who experiences trauma will develop PTSD. Some people are more flexible than others and might have stronger managing mechanisms. But anyone can develop PTSD at any age, and although any serious event can set it in stir, you need not to be the victim of the factual event to develop it. PTSD can affect a substantiation to a circumstance, or someone who has a close friend or family member who has been directly exposed to a violent or life-hanging event. Hearing repeated details about a harrowing occasion or passing the death of a loved one could also spark PTSD. PTSD should not go ignored, because the symptoms can grow worse with time, and if left undressed, can intrude with every aspect of everyday life. Taking a heavy risk on work, sleep, and overall physical health. It can lead to depression, substance abuse, disordered eating, and guilt or blame. It can beget an overall decline in the quality of life, stealing the impatient of joy and close connections. Symptoms. Post-traumatic stress complaint symptoms may start within 1 month of a traumatic event, but occasionally symptoms may not appear until times after the event. These symptoms beget significant problems in social or work situations and in connections. They can also intrude with your capability to go about your normal diurnal tasks. PTSD symptoms are generally grouped into 4 types: protrusive recollections, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and mood, and changes in physical and emotional responses. Symptoms can vary over time or vary from person to person. How do you know when it's normal anxiety and when it's PTSD? For one, if it persists for a month or longer, it may indicate PTSD. Always check with your healthcare provider if you suspect PTSD or having trouble managing with anxiety and stress related to a shocking, scary, or dangerous event. Then are some symptoms you shouldn't ignore, indeed if they come and go. 1. Extreme volatility, agitation or wrathfulness. 2. Pull out from musketeers and family. 3. Flashbacks, reliving the event. 4. Contending hard or sweating. 5. Agonies or bad dreams. 6. Grief or despair, passions that the world is dangerous and no bone can be trusted. 7. Fluently startled by a loud noise or surprise. 8. Trouble sleeping or concentrating. 9. Shocking studies. 10. Avoiding objects, places or events that are monuments of the traumatic event. Seek professional help if symptoms last longer than a month and beget great torture and dislocation in your life. PTSD can be successfully treated and managed with of specifics: psychotherapy talk remedy, relaxation remedy, exposure remedy, cognitive restructuring, awareness remedy, and of course, the love and support of musketeers and family. So here are 10 symptoms that you have PTSD. But before starting, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as we upload a video Also, do not forget to share this video with a friend in need. So let's begin. 1. Suddenly feeling you are in peril. As mentioned over, one symptom of PTSD is an inflated startle response. Suddenly, you feel that you're in peril, and it can be indeed if there's no egregious or recognizable trouble. That's because your mind is still stuck in the art conservative mode that was trying to keep you safe from commodity dangerous in your history. Indeed, though the event happened a long time ago, your mind doesn't realize that and responds as though the peril is still present. It can be veritably shocking. 2. Feeling numb. Another sign of PTSD is feeling emotionally numb. You might have trouble feeling any kind of emotion at all. Emotional impassiveness can be particularly distressing if you know there was a time when certain jests, similar as watching the daylight, brought you joy, yet now your feelings are nearly entirely dead. You frequently feel nothing at all. Similar emotional impassiveness frequently harms close connections, as it can be delicate, if not insolvable, to feel love and affection towards the people you watch about and are closest to you. 3. Sleep problems. People who have endured cerebral trauma and struggle with PTSD can have severe sleep problems. You may have trouble getting to sleep or staying asleep, or you may sleep way too long. Occasionally, when you do sleep, you may have agonies, especially about effects associated with the traumatic event. Or you may not conjure at all. 4. Difficulty flashing back effects. Numerous people who have endured cerebral trauma or who have PTSD have difficulty flashing back effects. In particular, you may have trouble flashing back the specific details girding your trauma. This lack of memory is another way in which your mind is trying to cover you. Unfortunately, that can also indicate that you are having trouble healing from your trauma. Cerebral trauma can also affect your broader memory, making it challenging to flash back day-to-day effects too. 5. Relationship issues. Still, you may be floundering with relationship issues as well. If you have PTSD, for illustration, you may have trouble forming close connections with other people. In some cases, this can be because, subconsciously, you're trying to cover yourself from farther hurt. You might find it hard to trust people or let them in. Indeed, when you want to. Plus, the connections you do have are frequently hard to maintain. 6. Feeling perverse or angry. Wrathfulness and perversity are also common for those with PTDS. Maybe you have noticed how you snap back at someone when they ask a question, or that you warrant tolerance and come bothered by small effects. This short fuse happens because part of you remains emotionally stuck in that traumatic moment from the history. As a result, your feelings can be veritably raw, making it hard for you to gauge your passions directly grounded on the situation at hand. 7. Difficulty staying focused. Because of PTSD, it may be delicate for you to stay focused and present. In turn, this can make it hard for you to hold down a job or concentrate on academy work. Similar lack of focus happens because your mind is still scuffling with one's trauma, making it harder to concentrate on anything differently. 8. Passions of guilt and shame. Still, it's largely likely that you are frequently scuffling with passions of guilt and shame. If you have endured cerebral trauma, these passions can come inviting at times. For illustration, let's say you survived a woeful incident, but someone differently did not. You might feel incredibly shamefaced for having lived while they failed. You condemn yourself and question what you could have done else. Yet, this only reinforces your guilt and shame. 9. Using harmful managing mechanisms. Unfortunately, people who have PTSD frequently have substance abuse problems. 2. Like so numerous others, you may be using alcohol, medicines, or both to manage with the inviting and disturbing studies and feelings. Of course, rather of helping. Substance abuse only makes effects worse. In the end, you only add further trouble to a complex situation. 10. You do and want to get help. Maybe there are those in your life who have refocused out some of the warning signs mentioned over. So, the patterns of PTSD keep repeating themselves, and you don't get any better. So this is all for today's video. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as we upload a video. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We really appreciate your efforts, and we read all of your comments, so make sure you comment below if you guys experience any of the similar symptoms. Also, do not forget to share this video with a friend indeed, because you never know, they might be going through something. And they need help, so share this video to help them out, let them know that you care. So that's it, and I will see you in next one.